If you're directionally challenged like me and you haven't downloaded this app yet, you're going to want to listen up because Google Maps have finally returned to the iPhone. We have Timmy Moore for Text Tuesday. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Google Maps, why is it such a big deal that it's come back to the iPhone?
Actually, when you first got an iPhone, you would have Maps. You really didn't know that it was Google because Google did branded. Apple kind of controlled their application. So when Apple and Google were in this contract, they were constantly fighting against each other. Google wants to put in this feature, Apple said no. Apple wants this feature, Google said no. So now that this contract, actually, it's rumored that the contract between Apple and Google actually broke a lot earlier than it was supposed to. So then when they released iOS 6 and it came with this new Maps that nobody was used to yet, and it had all this new data that wasn't backed by Google, points of interest were wrong, maps were wrong, and then there's actually this website where the mountains were kind of like all jagged and it just wasn't ready for release time. So Google took into their own hands, they created their own application, which is right here, and as you can see, if you're used to Apple Maps, it looks completely different. They added a lot more features.
And what would you say some of the differences are? Because as you said, Google Maps used to be part of your iPhone. You might not have even known. What are the differences with the new app for the new app release?
Really, the big difference that people lost in Apple Maps was public transit, where you could see your bus schedule and everything, and you would be able to track, hey, where am I going? What's the time this is happening? That's one big feature that came back in Google Maps, so that's one of the reasons people downloaded it. Just obviously the UI difference, you can just get a really nice interface. It connects with your Google profile. Oh, nice. So all these Google services are again coming together, something they couldn't do when Apple was in control of the app. So you could sign in there and you could view all your, you could put in your home address, work address. Like my mom, she puts in her barn address, and you could just say navigate to the barn, and it would know the address and say go right here. And that's something that couldn't be done before. Exactly,
and it's accurate. Unlike Apple Maps have been, a lot of people have been trying to go to locations, and you're obviously, like I've said to you, I've driven right past it because I'm trying to follow Siri. So what is Apple trying at all to salvage their maps? Are they going to totally scrap them, or what are some of the plans that you've heard they're going to do to make them a little bit better, if at all?
I know what they're going. I know there's actually was a rumor, not sure if it's true, but the new iOS manager is trying to look into acquiring or getting some Foursquare data, because Foursquare is really heavy on points of interest. Because when people check in, it goes to Foursquare servers, registers that place right there. Apple's going to maybe try and tap into Foursquare's data so they can update their points of interest. So when you search like a name, for the people that don't know what a point of interest is, when you search a name and that little pin drops down and says it's right here, do you want to navigate here? It'll be accurate. It will be accurate, that's right.
And people use Foursquare, so that is definitely a good way to go. Timmy, if anyone has any questions, how could they reach out to you?
I do have a Twitter. It's Timothy Moore Jr. If they can tweet me, ask me any questions that they want, and I'd be happy to help.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing all this information. I know it's helpful not only for me, but for a lot of our viewers out there. Thanks again.
Yeah, no problem.